Welcome. Let's get ready to get back on the reformer. You'll need a chair and a towel for this workout. Let's set up good posture, feet are hip width parallel. Lengthen the tailbone slightly, lengthen the crown, feeling that light abdominal connection, but the upper body is nice and relaxed. Take a few deep breaths, feel how the belly naturally expands on the inhale and naturally draws back on the exhale. On your next breath out, let's roll down. Bring the chin in, let the spine round, and roll down as far as you can. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, roll back up. As you roll down, let the shoulders round forward, feel the upper back round, then the lower back, and then the legs stretch. Restacking tailbone to crown. One more, stretching the whole back of the body on the way down, using those same muscles to restack. Now let's do our side stretch. Take your feet out really wide, keep the hips still, slide down one leg, reach through the opposite arm, try and keep your body square to the side, feel that crunching through the underneath waist. Other side, slide, reach, breathe, and then come back to the center. And let's get ready for our hip flexor stretch. Use your towel for some padding for the knees. One knee on the towel, the other foot steps forward next to the chair, and then we can lean forward, put our forearms on the chair, and just let our hips hang down nice and low to stretch our hip flexor on the back leg, very similar to what we do on the reformer. Now, as a stronger option, you can bend the back leg, catch onto the foot, and then create that lunging shape again. Now we have increased stretch on the front of the thigh. If this isn't suitable, you'll just stay with your regular hip flexor stretch. Let's do the other side. One knee on the towel, one foot stepped forward next to the chair. Lean forward, forearms resting on the chair, hips hanging down nice and low. Upper body nice and relaxed. If you did your quad stretch on the other side, let's add it on this side. Catching onto that back foot, lunging back down as low as you can, but it's okay if you can't lunge down as low when you're holding the foot. And then let's release that foot, and we're going to do cat stretch next. So let's have both knees on the mat or the towel, hands on the chair, arms nice and straight. Let's round our spine up to the ceiling, stretching the back, and then let the chest drop down, extending the back. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. We'll keep the hips nice and high, and we're moving through our spine, stretching our lower back when we round, stretching our upper back when we extend, but it's also a decent shoulder stretch. So take your time, but don't force. Look back towards the thighs when you round, look forward when you extend. When our arms are in this position, it's like our arms are overhead. Feels like our shoulders are up near our ears, stretching through the sides of the body as well. One more. And then let's come into a seated position, facing away from the chair. We want enough space that we can reach back, catch onto the chair with straight arms. Let's lift the chest and roll the shoulders back, and then let the shoulders round forward. Alternating between chest lifted and shoulders rolled back, and then spine round, shoulders rolled forward. See if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together, creating creases on your upper back. And we really have to lift the chest quite strongly. It feels like a back bend, but you can see that really the back's nice and straight when we lift the chest. One more time, stretching chest and shoulders. And then let's release. Now we're going to spin around, lie on our back with our legs bent and our knees quite close to the chair. Make sure the chair is not going to slide, that's important. Arms down by your side. Just take a few breaths, gently imprint the lower abdominals and the lower back. Let's roll our hips up off the floor and then roll back down. So this is our pelvic curls, peeling our spine up off the floor and then imprinting it back down. Squeezing the bum muscles, make sure the knees stay reasonably close together. And because our knees are nice and close to the chair, imagine your knees reaching for the chair as you come up, helping us to lengthen out, shoulders to knees in that nice diagonal at the top. When we do pelvic curls on the floor, the main work is our glutes or our bum muscles and that roll through the spine. Now you can stay with the feet on the floor as the easier option. Harder options, let's put our feet on the chair, either with the arches of the feet on, roll the hips up and roll back down, or maybe you would prefer your heels sitting on top of the chair. Roll up and roll down. Of course, we get much more height, and it's much more similar to our pelvic curls on the reformer. We can feel mostly hamstrings, pressing our heels down into the chair. We're still looking for that roll through the spine, and because we get our body so much further up off the floor, you can probably feel that roll a little bit more. Try and keep the upper body nice and relaxed, and try and feel that little bit of abdominals involved, even though we feel mostly leg work. And then we'll take our feet off the chair and we can carefully move the chair out of the way. Of course, you might sit up and move it. And then let's grab our towel and fold it up as thick as we can so we can put it underneath our tailbone. So it's across the back of the pelvis, down quite low, so that when we take our legs up to tabletop, it feels like the pelvis tilts back towards us. Lower the legs down just a little bit and then use your tummy muscles to pull it back up. Lower the legs down and up. Now we're going to go through our legs in straps moves here, but the range is much smaller because we don't have the support of the straps and the resistance supporting the weight of the legs. One more double leg lower, then we'll keep the legs at vertical, open out nice and wide, and then close back together. Open and close. Working from vertical, coming back to vertical. Now it's normal to feel our hip muscles, so our hip flexors and our thighs working, but that's why we've got the towel underneath as well. That's going to help us hold the legs up in the air a little bit easier. Now let's do circles. We open and circle down just a little bit and then come back up through the center. Open and circle down, then back up through the center. Notice we're not going very low at all. It's not even coming down to 45. It's really just a little bit lower than vertical. We need to be able to keep our abdominals zipped up and our lower back gently drawing down towards the floor. One more that direction, and then let's reverse our circle. So we go down through the center, open and circle to the top, down and around. You might hear or feel your hips clicking or clunking a little bit. Make your circle a little bit smaller, really focus on your abdominals, but know that it's normal. Nearly everyone's hips click and clunk to start with. Let's do one more circle. And then let's bend the legs into frog position, heels together, knees wide. Exhale, press out. Inhale, bend. Exhale, frog. Inhale, bend. Again, notice the height or the angle. It's a little bit away from the body, a little bit lower than vertical, but not much. The lower you go, the harder it will be to keep your abdominals on. Make sure you don't lose that connection. Now let's make it wide frog, heels wide as we press out and in. Knees wide, almost like our knees point towards our shoulders as they bend back. Notice how we're still working the inner thighs even though we're not squeezing the legs together. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll hug the knees in, holding onto the shins, just stretching the lower back in a knees wide position. Let the tummy muscles go. And then let's stretch the hamstrings. Put one foot on the floor, catch onto the other calf or ankle, and pull that leg back to stretch your hamstring or the back of your thigh. And change sides. Try and hold as close as you can to the foot. To increase the stretch, you can pull the leg backwards or try and straighten the knee. And then release the leg. Let's take the towel out from underneath. And then let's put it underneath our head to use as a pillow. Now we're going to use it as a pillow. Arms to vertical, preparing for abdominal work, arms in straps or our abdominal set. Lower back gently flattened. Let's take the arms to vertical. Arms to vertical, press the arms down and take them back up. Press and lift. So we bring the arms all the way down to the floor, then back up to vertical. All the way down to the floor, press, and then they stop at vertical. This is level 1 and lift. Level 2, as you press the arms, lift one leg into tabletop and then put it down. Other leg and down. Lifting the leg into tabletop, almost imagining that your tummy muscles are lifting the leg. Not entirely true, but imagine. Level 3, both legs in tabletop, and they just stay there as we continue with the arms. Ideally, our thighs definitely jumps up a little bit, feet in line with both legs are in the air. We can feel more abdominal work now. Both legs are in the air. 4. Next level, let's add a single leg extension as we lower the arms. Return. Alternating side and return. Extending one leg out straight to a nice diagonal and bend. Abdominal work. Leg increases even more. Doesn't have to go final level. Final level. Curl the head and shoulders and return. As you press and extend. Press, curling action, and return. Trying to get all our shoulder blades off the down floor. Towards that foot. On the next one, rounding, getting hold all the upper back. Legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take a little rest. Breathe. Gently imprint and take the arms out to the side. Let's press the arms and open. Pressing the arms to the side body and then opening out to shoulder height. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Next level, lift one leg into tabletop and then put it down. Lift and lower. Lifting the leg as you press the arms to the hips. Imagine your abdominals lifting the leg. Next level, both legs in tabletop, and we continue with the arms. Ideally, our thighs are vertical, feet in line with knees, but it's okay to have your knees a little bit closer to your chest if you need to. Next level, extend one leg as you press, bend it in, other leg extends and in. Press and extend, press and extend. Last level, let's add that curl. Press, curl and extend and relax. Rounding the spine, crunching the ribs in, lower back imprints even more. 2 to go. On the next one, press and hold it. Swap the legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let's hug the knees into the chest to stretch the lower back. Really feel lower back rounding, tailbone curling up. If you like, curl your head and shoulders as well, just creating that body awareness. Lengthening the back, shortening at the front. Now we're ready for our last arms in straps. Let's press the arms, curl the tailbone, and return. Reverse curls. Knees come back to the chest and we try and peel our tailbone off the floor. If you can, let's add the upper body curl as well, rounding the whole spine, kind of like you're curling into a little ball, bringing your knees towards your forehead and your forehead towards your knees, but focus on that crunching feeling, ribs to hips, because it's about our torso and our abdominals, not really our knees and our head. 2 more. On the next one, let's curl and hold it. Pulse our tailbone. 3, 2, 1. Upper body. 3, 2, 1. Both together. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Let's take our arms out to the side for twisting stretch. Right leg crossed on top. Twist to the left, keeping both shoulders down. Stretching the back and the hip. Apart from keeping the shoulder down, everything else just lets go. Gravity does the work. And then come back to the center, left leg on top, twisting to the right. You might feel that you want to shift your hips a little bit to one side, that's fine. Legs crossed is a stronger stretch than legs uncrossed. And then come back to the center and let's come into a side lying position. We'll use our towel as our pillow again. Legs are bent, top hand on the top hip, reverse clams. Let's lift our top foot and then lower it down. Lift and lower, keeping the knees together. This is working internal rotation of our top leg in the hip joint. Check that the front of the knees line up nicely to make sure you're right on your side. 1 more. Now let's do regular clams. Open the knee, keeping the feet together. Try not to let your hips roll back, and this is working our external rotators or our glutes or bum muscles. And naturally it's a little bit harder because we have to lift the weight of our thigh. 1 more. Now let's extend that leg out straight, leg press. Bend the knee, press, bend and press. Kind of like knee to chest, and then extend out straight. And take the time to extend that leg really straight, which sounds obvious, but check the knee gets straight. You should feel the bum muscles squeeze a little bit in that last little bit of extension. On the next one, let's hold the leg straight and let's do little lifts up and down, keeping the legs straight, working the glutes to lift that leg up against gravity. And then release it down. Let's come up onto our forearm for a side hover. Easier option, keep the bottom leg bent as you lift the hips and take the arm to vertical. Harder option, take both legs out straight. Whichever one you're doing, we keep lifting on the underneath side. Feels like we're crunching and side bending, even though it looks quite straight. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now let's get ready for the other side. Make sure you've got your towel for a pillow, lying on your side, legs bent, top hand on the top hip. Make sure the front of the knees line up nicely. Let's do reverse clams. Lift the top foot and then bring it down. Keep the knees together, internally rotating our leg bone in our hip socket, so you might feel some hip muscles at the front, but sometimes you can also feel the back of the hip, more a stretching sensation. 1 more. Now let's do regular clams. Open the top knee and close. Open and close. A little bit more work, and we have to be a little bit more careful that our top hip doesn't roll back. Remember to check the knees line up when you close them. 1 more. And then let's extend that leg out straight, leg press. Bend the knee in, press it out straight. Bend and press. Bend and press. Take your time, make sure you squeeze that leg completely straight Really, the leg is in line with the body, but it might feel like it goes a little bit behind, just to make sure you get that full extension, get that little bit of glute squeeze. Let's hold the leg straight, little lifts up and down, keeping the legs straight and parallel so the top of the foot faces forward. 2, 1, and relax. Let's set up for our side hover, elbow directly under the shoulder. Use the hand in front and the bottom knee on the floor as the easier option, or harder option, both legs out straight. Lift using your side tummy muscles underneath. Try and keep the neck in line with your spine. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and release. Now let's lie on our tummy, face close to the floor, hands flat directly under the shoulders. Let your shoulders roll forward towards the floor, and then see if we can do the exact opposite. Roll them back and together, and then roll them forward, looking for creases on the upper back when you squeeze them together. If you can, float the hands off the floor as you do that. Notice we haven't lifted the chest, we're not doing a back bend yet, just trying to get a nice upper back connection, bit more freedom in our shoulder blades and creating that body awareness. Let's do a couple more, and this would be your easier option if you need them. If this feels okay, let's keep our hands flat on the floor, use our upper back and lift the chest for a little back bend and then come back down. Upper back and then a little press. Now the higher we go, the more lower back extension and more lower back work we're going to feel. There's nothing wrong with that, but just make a point to also use your upper back as well. Try and lift as high as you can using your back muscles, then bring the arms in to assist with a little bit more range. Eventually you'll be able to come all the way up until the arms are straight, but don't force it, just go as high as you can today. One more. And then let's stretch back, sit on our heels for child's pose. If sitting back on the heels is an issue, you could do your cat stretch like we did before, rounding the spine. Breathe deeply, let the abdominals go, let the lower back stretch. And then let's come on to hands and knees, hands under shoulders. If the wrists are an issue, you could definitely do this one on the forearms. Now we want our back to be nice and flat, so pull the tummy muscles up, straighten the lower back a little bit, tuck the toes, hover the knees off the floor, and then place them back down. We're trying to keep our arms straight and our back straight. This is much harder than it looks, so we will feel our upper body and our thighs as well, but our main focus is using our tummy muscles to keep our back straight. It goes in the plank family of exercises. And then let's sit back all the way onto our heels, arms reaching forward, rise up and sit down, rise up and sit down. Now if you can't sit all the way down on the heels, that's okay. Just sit back halfway or whatever your body allows at the moment. And let's really squeeze our bum muscles at the top, just working through the knees and hips. But it's a lot of good quad strength, the muscles on the front of the thighs as well. 2 more. Last one. And we're going to stay kneeling. Let's step one foot forward and then bring it back. Step the other leg forward and bring it back. Don't overthink this one. It's also not as easy as it looks. You might find it challenging to balance, and even just the general strength of our hip flexor to step that leg forward, but it's really functional. Getting up and down off the floor. 2 more. And then let's leave one leg forward and stand up all the way. Now let's grab our chair, make sure it can't slide. We're going to use our chair to do a variation of scooter. Put your hands flat on the chair, bend both legs. It feels like you're sticking your bum out, but the back is straight. Tap one leg back and then forward, back and forward. So you tap the floor at the back and then tap the floor next to the foot, keeping the standing leg a little bit bent. See if you can use less weight on the chair, maybe just 2 fingers, more work in the legs. Level 3, see if you can get rid of the hands altogether, keeping the same body position, trying not to let the foot and the knee wobble in or out too much. And then this time, let's leave our foot out the back, put our hands back down, and just try and press your heel to the floor and straighten that back leg, stretching your calf. Now let's do the other side. Sit back, scooter, tap, back and forward, back and forward, back and then next to the foot. Now see if we can be lighter with our hands on the chair. We've still got it for balance, but that means more work is happening in the leg. If you can, get rid of the hands completely. Keeping our leg bent, weight in the heel. Should be our standing leg that's working the hardest. 3, 2, and then leave it out the back, hands on the floor, press the heel to the floor, keeping the back leg straight, stretching the calf. And then let's stand up, turn around and sit down on the chair. You can have your legs however you need to. Let's simply stand up and sit back down. So it's squats, but don't overthink it. We're only doing 10, and that's the whole point of exercise. We intentionally fatigue and strengthen the muscles so that when we have to do stuff in our everyday life, like get up and down out of our chair, it's easy because we've already done 10 today in our workout. 2 more. Last one. And then let's stay seated and we're going to do glute stretch. So let's put one ankle on the knee with the knee unfolding. If you can, fold forward as well. This is stretching our hip or essentially our bum muscles on that top leg side. The more we fold forward, the stronger the stretch will get. And then let's do the other side. Ankle on the knee, fold forward. It's okay just to let the back round. You might get a bit of a back stretch as well. Now we've done our glute stretch for today, but it is probably something that you should sneak in every day, even if you're not doing Pilates. And then let's release that glute stretch and let's stand, set up our good posture. Tailbone lengthens, crown lengthens. Imagine a straight line through the center of the body. Let's roll down. Your legs can be straight or bent. Let your head and shoulders hang. And then restack. Hopefully noticing more space in the body, more strength, more flexibility than at the beginning. One more time. We did a lot of our reformer moves. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder on the floor, but we've practiced those shapes. We're ready. See you soon.